President Biden speaking today about this cyber attack on the Colonial Pipeline.
Mr. Biden saying ransomware inside Russia is responsible for what happened. The president added, however, that there's no evidence the Russian government itself is involved, though it has a responsibility to react.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation has determined Colonial's network was infected by ransomware, and it's a criminal act, obviously. FBI released details of the attack so others can take steps to prevent being infected.
The attack prompting an emergency declaration in the District of Columbia and 17 states, including Arkansas.
Jay Bird joining us now live in the studio with more on the local impact here, Jay.
Yeah, guys, as you mentioned, the Colonial Pipeline is the nation's largest oil pipeline, running from Houston all the way up to northern New Jersey. Now, despite the shutdown and potential for backed-up inventory as we approach the summer travel season, it might not be as bad here in Arkansas as it is going to be up the East Coast at the pump.
Summertime approaching likely means more travel for Arkansans. Around Memorial Day, there's usually gas price increases for the summer months as demand increases. But how will the Colonial Pipeline shutdown affect prices in Arkansas? UA Little Rock economist Michael Packo thinks it's an additional factor of the whole equation.
The fact that we have this disruption with the Colonial Pipeline really just adds to that momentum that was already building.
Arkansas has seen much less dramatic increases in the past month. According to AAA, price averages across the country a month ago were at $287. In Arkansas, $268. Today, those numbers are $297 and $272. Much more stable than some of the direct pipeline areas along the east and southeast coast.
The price increases over the past week have been closer to 7 cents a gallon. So at least we're not in those areas.
Packo says future pricing will be affected by how long the shutdown lasts.
The price spike, for what it's worth, will probably be of limited duration. It will just appear as kind of a blip along the path of rising prices leading up to Memorial Day.
Even with the federal government's relaxation of certain regulations to help ease the burden, the cost of transporting and logistics won't prevent all potential price increases.
It will undoubtedly help make sure that the product gets to places where it's the most needed. But at the same time, it's not necessarily going to stop price increases.
Packo is not calling for people to rush out and fill their tanks and gas cans, but he does say just to be mindful of it for the next week or so when, hopefully, the pipeline is back operational and prices are more normal for this time of year.
Once this current situation is resolved, things should go back to a relatively stable environment.
And Colonial Pipeline issuing a statement today, in part reading, quote, "We continue to evaluate product inventory in our storage tanks at our facilities and others along our system and are working with our shippers to move this product to terminals for local delivery. Actions taken by the federal government to issue a temporary hours of service exemption for motor carriers and drivers transporting refined products across Colonial's footprint should help alleviate local supply disruptions, and we thank our government partners for their assistance." In a nutshell, they're doing their best to get gas to you. We'll keep you updated on any potential effects from the Colonial shutdown here in Arkansas. Bob?
All right, Jay, thanks very much.